Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
I have a question for you. What did you have for breakfast today? What did you have for lunch today? Were you intentional about what you ate? How's your nutrition situation going on? Is it completely off your radar and you're not even thinking about it? Are you feeling sluggish, kind of out of sorts, no energy, brain fog? We are going to talk about nutrition today, but a different way. Instead of, cracking the whip here and saying you should eat this and you shouldn't eat that, we're going to start, and this is the first of a two-part series. What happens when you eat? What's going on in the body? What does your body need? What are the signals that it's telling you that maybe you're ignoring? And she's going to help us out with that. She's a doctor of naturopathy, certified body talk trainer, practitioner. She's a master herbalist, and we need her today as a certified nutritional counselor. Dr. Jacquilen Tomas Ali. Andy joins us here on the program. How you doing today?
I'm great. How are you today? So glad, so grateful to be here. So grateful to be here.
Grateful to have you here and kind of break this nutrition thing down for us, because I'm at that point now where I'm going to start meal prepping, intentionally taking the time to cook. I don't cook. It's going to be a challenge, but I'm going to keep it simple, ground beef and rice and things like that. But I'll know what I'm putting into it. Sometimes I buy pre-made meals at a place locally. It's fresh. I believe it's good. It's pricey, but it's good. But I don't really know. I don't even know what they're putting in that stuff. I assume, but one should never assume. So I'm on board for all of this to really learn what our body needs, why it does what it does when it comes to nutrition. So where do we begin? What do you think?
All right. Well, first let's just focus on the body itself. The body is made up of cells, which most of us know, and then these cells combine to form organs and bones, and then they combine to form different systems, such as the respiratory system, skeletal system, and different systems throughout the body. Because it's not something, our body is not something that we are to just, it's just like boom, boom, zip, zap. No, it's very intricate. And it's interesting that when I finished my degree as a naturopath, I'm like, so what am I going to do? What am I going to talk about? So I said, well, let me follow up and do some additional training in herbs, which is what I did, the certified herbal uh, um, practitioner, as well as nutrition, because I'm thinking people are going to want to know if there are certain herbs they should take or certain foods that they should eat or not eat. And that worked well for me for a couple of years. But I realized through the process that I needed to incorporate and integrate more, and it more in terms of what other options. And it was around that time when I guess maybe about 2 or 3 years after I got into my practice, that I was introduced into the body talk system. So I'm saying, all right, so now I can really merge all of this together. And I am going to tell you that it was really, truly a task that was beyond what I could actually handle in terms of herbs, nutrition, and body talk. So, and I tried, but it was just too much. And my clients were so overwhelmed and confused that I'm like, you know what? I need to make some decisions as to what I'm going to actually include in my practice. So, with the herbs, I am I was able to connect with businesses here in the Philadelphia area that do a phenomenal job in referring and making herbs. But if herbs come up in Body Talk, I can make recommendations. But rather than focusing primarily on that, that was too much.
Well,
And then,
I love
go
what
ahead,
you
I'm sorry.
do. I gotta tell you, I love what you do because you attack our holistic health from all angles. So for anybody that's not really sure what Body Talk does, go back to some previous podcasts that we've done. It's
Oh,
getting
we're going to redo Body Talk again.
all good.
Yeah,
But it's
yeah.
essentially it's listening, being able to listen to your body so it can tell you what it needs, whether it's nutrition, whether it's supplements, and you can't get that through nutrition. So we, got that handled. The herbal side of things, maybe it's herbs, and that can
Yeah.
support you. Certainly, I love them.
And the thing is with herbs, herbs are plants. So it's not like it's foreign. It's plants that have been dried or made into a liquid, and so the body processes it very similar to the way that it processes food. Now, with the nutritional piece, I ran into a similar situation where I'm like, I can't do all of this at once. It's just too much. It's too much for me, too much for the client. So I make referrals to a colleague. In fact, she's on my website that specializes in nutrition. However, there is an area in Body Talk called Body Chemistry, which is open for a person who may need some immediate information regarding nutrition. So there are some areas in that. But getting back to, so I'm saying all that to say that my information regarding nutrition has not just gone out the window because of my focus on Body Talk. It is very much incorporated, and it's so what I'm going to share with you today, as well as next week, will be some basics as well as combining, because we've been convinced. I had to really be very careful of my wording. We've been convinced that we should combine things in a certain way, but I'll get to that at another point. Okay, so now understand that the purpose of food is one thing only. It is to provide the nutrients to nourish the body so that it can rebuild cells, so that it can then rebuild organs, bones, and systems, and so forth. That's what food is for.
I think we forget, Dr. Jackie, that we're always rebuilding cells. It's
Always.
an evolutionary process. It's on and ongoing. Everything is
Yes,
changing. That's, flush things out, new things come in.
yes. Yes, it's always because our body knows that there are certain cells that need to be replenished, um, just like in certain climates, especially in the Northeast climate, where we can actually see the seasons,
Mhm.
where there's the breaking down in the fall and then the building up in the spring. Our body goes through a very similar process.
Wow.
And the quality of the nutrients that we take in really truly has a direct impact on the level of rebuilding and repairing that our body does. So if the quality is if the quality is poor, I was going to use another adjective in front of that, but
Mhm.
if the quality is poor, then it's the body is saying, I don't know what I can do with this. Well, I'll try my best, but I'm not sure if I can handle this. I'll do what I can. And
Junk in equals junk out.
thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And then with that, um, we have been, especially in this country, it's not to say that it's not in other countries, but certainly in this country, we have been focused on uh, eating certain foods based on habits, whether it's our own habits that we developed or habits that we developed growing up as children, or from our lineage, from our family history. That if you make a pot of this, you got to put that in it. Why? Because of taste. Not because of nutrients, but because of taste. And many of us, because we are habit driven, we
Mm.
resist doing things differently. And for whatever reason, we believe that if I do this one time, or maybe two times, or maybe three times, that my habits are going to change and it's going to be a done deal. No, it takes the body, it takes us an average of 21 consecutive days to develop a new habit. Now,
Mm.
there are some people that may take a little longer. Some may take 25 days. Some may take 20 or 19 days. But 21 is the average. And many times, in order for us to maintain certain habits that we've been led to believe this is what we should do, when our body is saying it wants something or that there's a problem, what we do is we just drop a pill so that we can continue to maintain the same habits that we've had rather than really looking at and doing things differently.
Well, to your point, vitamins.
Mm-hmm.
So why do we take vitamins?
Okay.
Technically we shouldn't need to if you are eating the right thing, but that turned into a whole marketing thing many decades ago. One a day vitamin. It was like create this, got to have it once a day, one a day. The apple a day keeps the doctor away. One a day, one a day. You shouldn't need to take vitamins if you're eating properly.
And you know what? You're absolutely right. And it's not just only eating right, but it's the quality of the foods that
Mm.
we're eating that also makes a difference. And if a person, I'm careful because people are so about foods and what they eat and da da da. Um, but it's a matter of knowing that certain things, the quality of certain things has everything to do with whether we need supplements or not. And I take supplements, but I don't do them every day. It depends on what's going on. It depends on the season. So I'm not saying don't do supplements.
I don't even know if I'm supposed to take supplements. And if I am, I don't know what to take and when I should take it. I take fish oil. I used to take a vitamin, but I kind of leaned off on that. But you make me wonder, Dr. Jackie. I always often flash back to years ago, 100
Mhm.
years ago. Life was simpler in many regards, less distraction, maybe less stress. And I wonder what food tasted like because we've become so accustomed, what you just said before, to the taste. It's like, I'm not going to eat that unless you add this to it and you add that to it. I'm just not going to eat it. I'm not going to do it. Back then, they were like, here's the potato, eat the potato. Done, finished, done. That's it. And I saw you know, social media serves you just random feeds just
Hmm.
for content
Yes,
because
yes.
Meta, i.e., Facebook and Instagram.
They like, come on, come on, come on. We'll give you this. We'll give you that. We'll give you that. We'll give you that.
They want to keep you engaged because
Yes,
they want to see you to see the ads, and if your friends aren't providing a lot of fun content, they're just going to serve stuff up. So there was one Facebook page. I forget what it was. It was, this week in history or whatever. And it was a picture of people at the beach in the 1970s. And the whole point of this photo was everybody was thin. Everybody was thin. Now, I got to believe it wasn't AI generated. And I'm actually going to do a search just for pictures of people at the beach, 1975. Curious to know if we were in way better shape back then because the food was purer. I just wonder, like you say, it takes an average of 21 days to develop a new habit. It takes
yes,
21 days to develop a bad habit.
yes, yes. And a new habit is not always a positive one.
Yeah,
It can be something that also is not beneficial.
for sure.
And the fact that you brought that up, activity, when we were talking last week about exercising and movement, that's an integral part of it. Also, our mindset,
Mm,
because being human, we are human. We are emotion driven. There is never a time when we do not have emotions unless we've learned through meditation how to um, balance, release emotions, not to get rid of them, because that's not the way to go. It's a matter of finding the balance
mm,
with the emotions. And that a lot has to do with our mindset. And our mindset has everything to do with our nutrition as well as our eating habits.
mm.
So, places, fast food restaurants, fast food places, I won't name them, you know who they are. When they have their commercials, no matter where it is, the idea is if you're in a hurry, come on by and pick this up and eat this. Or if if you have a taste for something, here, eat this. This will satisfy the taste. Doesn't matter the nutritional value. It's a matter of
Mm.
satisfying the taste.
You have a point there, and I never thought of it that way. But you never hear a fast food restaurant say, come in, eat healthy. We'll make it fast for you. We know you've got a busy lifestyle, but come on, it's going to be good for you. It's good for you. No, I mean, here's some of the slogans of fast food restaurants: have it your way, because we have such picky tastes. So I want it this way and not that way. It ain't nothing about nutrition. It's
Right.
about the
It's
taste.
about, do you want your way? Do you want onions or
Mm,
no? Do you
mm.
want cheese or no?
Yeah.
That's the your way based on
Hmm.
the options and the choices that they offer you.
Yeah. Yeah. And most of those, let's be honest, aren't that great. Cheese is okay in moderation, but once you add the cheese to the bacon, to the patty, which we don't even know what that is and where it came from, then you add the bun, extra carbs, and then, we got to add mayo, got to add this, got to add that, got to have fries. Once you add it, there's no nutrition there. It's minimal.
Exactly, exactly. And
Mm.
and their goal is one thing only. Just have you come back, spend the money, buy the food, and keep coming back.
Well, I don't know the deep details or science behind this, but what you're eating has been scientifically planned, shall we say, to get you to come back, to want you to. I mean, look at back in the day,
Yeah.
Burger King added, and this is probably about 15 years ago, added beef flavor to their fries because
Yes.
they did tests and they found that people loved them more. They didn't know
Yes.
why. I don't know. I just love their fries. I don't know what's going on there. Um,
Yes.
it's 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 there to make money. That's what's going on.
Exactly. It's business.
It's business. Yeah.
But we get to choose. Now, there, you mentioned about restaurants. Restaurant eating is an option, but again, it's choosing the restaurant that you would like to go to.
Yep.
And if you choose a restaurant, knowing what's on their menu that resonates for healthy eating, healthy diet, healthy habits.
Yep.
And we'll go into those more of those foods next time. And then you mentioned earlier about you cooking and being and making some decisions around foods that you would cook and prepare for yourself, and
Mm,
whether that's going to really work out for you. Cooking is beneficial. Restaurant eating can be beneficial if you know where to go,
sure.
what to ask for, and the options that they offer.
And how much you eat, because
Yes.
nowadays they serve up these humongous portions that is really two meals, but you feel that you need to eat it all in one. I half the time I take the other half home. I think it's
Yeah,
great.
but what happens is that you say, I'm coming back there because they give me large portions.
Right. Exactly. Yep.
Yes.
Mm.
So then after that, it becomes business. And then again, as we mentioned, the focus of foods and emotions, that if a person has had an argument with someone, and the argument, especially if it's a close loved one, many times they go to something sweet to sweeten the emotion that they're eating, that they're feeling, rather than really looking at the nutritional value of what they're eating.
Mm. We're just about out of time. Interesting to
Okay.
break this all down in terms of why we do what we do and
Yes,
how to
yes, yes.
improve that. Um, how do we connect with you? This is what you help people out with, whether it's on the herbal side, whether it's on the body talk side. You demonstrated with me the body talk, and you're certified as a practitioner in that, can give you so much information about what your body needs, and
Yes,
can be done virtually. We did it
yes,
virtually. Did an
yes.
example with me. How do we find you?
Okay, I'll share with you. I'll share that with you in just a moment. Just
Sure.
want to let people know that next week when we come together, we're going to actually talk about the quality of the foods, how we combine foods, um, the whole understanding of organic versus non-organic, and just help a person understand how they're making the choices, and whether they're going to do it by going to a restaurant or by cooking their own foods. So we'll go into actually lining things up next time.
Love it.
My website is earthlyessence.life.
Mm.
Life. Earthlyessence.life.
Always a pleasure having you here. Always
Yes.
learn so much. And
Yes.
and if I didn't learn something today, you validated something I wondered about,
Hmm.
and how this all works. And a lot of times, again, when we talk about nutrition, it's eat this and don't eat that. Why? Well, we broke that down today. Looking forward to part two of this. Thanks again for being here.
All righty. Thank you so much for having me. And can I also ask you next week to remind me about hereditary things in terms of eating and okay, so just kind of remind me.
Piqued my interest on that one. I got to tell you. Definitely will.
Okay.
All
All
right.
right. Thank you
We'll talk
so
soon.
much. Take care.
We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.